Hi, I'm Scott Stewart, your host of the Upper Edge podcast and AI implementation expert. Today's guest is someone I knew right away was going to be special. On our first conversation, I think I called her Superwoman, and it turns out I wasn't that far off. She was actually named after the actress who played Superwoman. So Linda Kim, she's a former tech director turned real estate entrepreneur, investor, and coach who has built a multi-market portfolio of luxury short-term rentals generating multi-six figures. She's the founder of BNB Mastery Society, where she teaches others how to build and scale profitable Airbnb businesses, and Olive Gold Collective, a design company focused on maximizing performance through strategic interiors. She has a huge background in tech. She led creative and user experience initiatives at companies like Amazon and Microsoft. Linda brings a systems-driven, scalable approach to everything she builds, and it really shows. So Linda, really excited for this conversation. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Awesome. Hey, so you come from a high level tech background. What was that like for you? What was that world like for you?
Yeah, because I grew up in Seattle. So obviously, being in Seattle, there's a lot of tech everywhere with, and it's almost like that's a very normal path in Seattle to pursue. But yes, I ended up being a designer. I started as a graphic designer, and then I leveled up through the years to creative director at places like Microsoft, Amazon, did marketing, video game companies. And so,
Wow.
yeah, very different than what I do now.
Yeah. But you've always had a very creative mind, and you like
Yeah.
challenges, you like designing. Yeah. So what made you even consider stepping away from tech to jump into real estate? That's a big risk.
Yeah. Yeah. Because people ask me, how did you go from tech to real estate? They're two completely different industries. And so it was more because I was in tech and I felt like I wanted to make passive income. So I was more thinking about how do I make more money without working so many hours? That was my goal. It wasn't so much the industry specific. It was more about the goal. And so,
Yeah.
yeah. So I ended up researching online. How do I make more money? And then Airbnb was one of the things that popped up.
Nice. Was there a moment you knew okay, this is the direction I want to go in. I'm gonna walk away from tech and I'm going all in. What was that defining moment?
Yeah. So I had gone through a divorce, and I was also in a place in my life where I felt like anything was possible and I could do anything I wanted. And so, I felt like, okay, what can I do that's going to give me financial freedom? And so I hired a mentor while I was in my 9 to 5, thinking, oh, one day I hope I can leave. Because obviously in your head, when you don't know what's going to happen, you think, oh, one day I hope. So, so I started my business, and then I got laid off 3 weeks after I got my first Airbnb. And so obviously I didn't know that was coming.
It was a sign. It was a sign.
Exactly.
Give you a
Exactly.
little push. Here, go for it.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. The universe is like, okay, you should leave now, because I probably wouldn't have left that fast if I wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary to walk away from that security and that paycheck,
Yeah,
rely on yourself.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big move for sure. So how long did it take for things to really start like rolling and to see some real revenue from short-term rentals?
Yeah. So the second week of my program, it was about a 6 week program, or about almost 2 months. And so on the second week, we learned how to pitch, and we had to go call landlords. And I actually got 4 properties in that during my mentorship. So
Wow.
I was not expecting that at all. I thought it would take forever because, not forever, but I just thought it would take longer because, I didn't pitch. I didn't know how to negotiate. I didn't do cold.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that stuff because typically I'm in my tech cubicle myself designing. And so this is a whole new world, but I got four. So I said yes because I got excited. So I'll take them all.
That's huge. Was that you reaching out to purchase the property or manage it for them?
Yeah. So I did arbitrage. So I was
Okay.
reaching out to landlords to lease their properties.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I thought, it's going to take longer because you have to convince them. It's not like I'm just buying a house that's on the market. Yeah. So
Yeah, it takes so much trust too, right? And then
exactly.
and to put that into somebody that's fairly new to the whole world too. That you must have been a good talker. You had something. You had something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got them and I set them up over like Christmas break. Then I think so. Typically around 4 to 8 months is when you start making profit because you have to pay off furniture and the rent. But I think they started being booked right away. So I would say within probably 4 months or so, I was hitting six figures on that passenger. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's super fast.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So you weren't so worried about your tech job anymore?
Yeah, oh, well, yeah, because I was laid off before I hit that point. Because I got laid off when
Yeah.
it was very new. So I
Yeah.
was actually applying for jobs for about 2 or 3 months, but I think about 200,000 people got laid off at the same time at high level companies, so super competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I thought eventually I just felt like, "Okay, I just don't even wanna go back at this point," so
Right? To feel like
yeah.
you're on the chopping block all the time, that's a horrible
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Especially when you have this great formula and you're just
yeah.
like, you're on fire.
Yeah, so I
So
surpassed my tech income, so I was like, "This just doesn't make sense to go back at this point," so
and you did that in like 4 to 6 months.
yeah, yeah, one of
Whoa.
my students too, they just hit 6 figures in 4 months.
Wow. So I mean, obviously from your background with creatives and user experience, you understand how things look and how people experience them, right? So how did you use that into this whole business? Like I'm sure it plays a huge role in what in your success.
That's such a good question, I've never been asked that.
Really?
Yeah, so I actually was in user experience design towards the last half of my career, and so I
Yeah.
was really thinking about how people the user experience of everything, and so, I said that tech and real estate is very, very different, but there is some overlap that obviously I'm bringing over from my experience, and so, the user experience of someone booking the Airbnb, what makes them wanna book, and how do you make it look nice, and how do you, do the SEO and all the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, do you do primarily Airbnb or do you do your own like short-term rentals on the side too?
Yeah, so I put everything on Airbnb because it was just, like, a solid system from the beginning, and I got a lot of my bookings that way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I do that, and then I just design other people's short-term rentals as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I know a lot of people they want to go try to do it independently because they don't want to pay the Airbnb fees, and then I think they usually come like crawling back because it's like it's hard to market. It's hard to like stand out.
Yeah, yeah, you're talking about, direct bookings, I think. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like you have to kinda get traction first, and then you can do it on the side as an addition, but
Yeah.
I think if you wanna start, I think a platform is the best way to go.
Yeah. I think so too. So, what do you think are some of the biggest levers that actually drive revenue? Do you think it's like the property location, the interior design, the pricing, is the way you
Yeah.
market it?
Exactly. Oh, you seem to know what you're you should try this too. I think you might be good at it.
I'm
Yeah,
getting interested, that's for sure, yeah. You're making it sound too easy.
I know, right? Yeah, it's pretty much all those things. It's everything. So it's funny because it sounds simple that, you have to have really good photos and really good design. You would be surprised. There's a lot of places that are not designed very well. And so, yeah, it's the pricing strategy. It's, yeah, location. You have to do your research on location because I hear people too say, oh, yeah, like I used to do that, or I know someone that did it and it was really hard. So they stopped
Yeah.
to know the system. But when you know that, it's not super hard to do.
Yeah, I think, like, it sounds like a really simple thing, and the reality is, like anything in this world, things that sound simple, once you actually dive into it, there's a lot more nuances that are involved. So, it's nice to have somebody like you kinda guide them along and help them sift through all that. So, if someone was, like, really, like, focused on one thing to increase their revenue with their Airbnb, what do you think that would be?
Yeah, I think it depends. Would they be just starting out or would they be existing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking somebody's just starting out, they're new to it, they purchased a property or they're managing it for somebody else, and they wanna get this thing off the ground because you wanna get some reviews, right? You wanna get that positive feedback so people know this is a great property, which takes a little bit of time to do that, so, yeah, you wanna rent it out, but you still wanna be making some money on it, you don't wanna be giving it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think is the best way for them to kind of lay that out?
I would say invest in good design furniture, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. But even from the get-go, so you have to design it very well because my mentor, he was like, "Oh, wow, yours is the nicest one in the area." And I didn't know because I didn't know the reference point. And so it ended up being one of the highest price and the highest occupancy of the area as well. It wasn't anything like it wasn't a mansion. They didn't have a pool. So that's why it's like, oh, it's really the design.
To
So
design.
yeah.
Yeah, and these days, it's like you can't afford to skimp on that because
Yeah.
people expect this, like, almost resort style experience when they go there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's so important, I think so as well. I know when I'm looking online, I'm like, "Okay, this place looks beautiful. I wanna be there." And you
Yeah.
want some what do you about location, so was there a certain area you're more focused on than others, or are you open to all different markets?
Yeah, so there's a tool that I use. It shows you every single city, street that you can go and the occupancy rates. So I was researching through there, but I actually started in LA, in Orange
Yeah.
County. Yeah. So yeah, it's not easy to do that in Southern California, but
No, pretty desirable areas though, for sure.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. The regulations are tricky, but
they are, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how does that work? Like, if some cities do have pretty tight regulations on Airbnb, but who's actually checking on that?
I well, yeah, because some cities are strict and then some are more lenient. So it's almost like you don't really know.
Yeah, you don't know till you get in there, right? And is it Airbnb that actually controls that? Do they restrict your listing if they get, like, contacted by the city, or where's that bottleneck there?
Yeah, they're not really affiliated from my knowledge. It's really just a
Okay,
city.
it's a
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, so a lot of people will either or you can get a license or a permit. A lot of
Yeah.
cities will give you a permit, but some don't offer them at all.
Yeah, that's usually the case with most cities. They're like, "Give me a little of this, goes a long way," for sure. They still wanna make sure they're not missing out. How about the international market? Do you dabble in that at all?
Oh, not yet. I would love to.
Yeah.
One coaching program students have a property in Bali, so they're gonna convert that to Airbnb. But you can really do it anywhere.
Bali's blown up over the last few years too, like, super crowded. I'm a surfer, and I like to travel and go find waves and everything. Yeah, I've been to Bali a few times, and I've definitely seen it change a lot over the years. But a
Yeah.
friend of mine that was just got back from there, she grew up there and lives there and goes there once a year, and she's like, "It's so crowded. The market is just, like, so busy now. It's like you wouldn't even recognize it." So, it's probably a really good investment.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
So, as you've grown, what's been some of the biggest challenges?
Yeah, I would say because obviously when you're small, it's easy to keep an eye on everything.
Yeah.
And so as I was scaling, so this sounds a little silly, but it is a passive income business, at least for me, because I learned
Yeah.
the system. And so obviously I work a few hours a week on it, but it's not like I'm working 20, 30 hours. But then you get to a point where you become a little too passive that maybe you should have checked in on certain things.
Yeah.
I think that's become a little bit of a wake up call of, okay, like we have to really be on top of everything, especially if they're out of state. I have out of state properties too. So, but it hasn't been anything that like it's not manageable.
Right, yeah, and I mean, it's property management at the end of the day is really what you're doing, and that's the name of the game is there's issues that come up. So is
Yeah.
it like you have really good, like, technology and stuff that helps you keep everything simple and kinda semi-passive?
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause yeah, so obviously it's the systems. So I always talk about that because the systems make it automated. And I'm surprised at how many people I talk to that don't have automated systems and they're just like, so much work. And I'm like, really? Because it's only a few hours a week for me, but you make your life.
Nah, I feel you, yeah, 'cause I talk to a lot of people about this stuff, about automation and
Yeah.
AI, and I think for a lot of people, they hear about it, they know they need to do it, it'll be helpful, they just don't really know where to start or how to integrate it.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
true.
just scary to put the trust into it. So it's like, I think, yeah, you start, at least my opinion is, start slow, integrate it slowly, make sure the system's working. You build that trust, and then you can kind of like be hands off and just kind of monitor it. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the technology has played a huge role in this because if I didn't have that, yeah, it would be way, way more of a headache. Not headache, but just a lot more work.
It's a lot more work. Yeah. So do you use any type of systems for automating like your outreach to homeowners to get that initial contact?
I actually haven't done that because up to now, I just been calling on my own, or I have
Yeah.
partnerships with agents, but that could be an option. But I do kind of feel like in this industry, when you're pitching, it's probably better to come out from a person, like a real person.
Yeah, the human touch is really important, especially when you talk
Yeah,
about somebody's home. They're like, "Who is this hitting me up?" Like, yeah, huh? Um, how receptive are people when you reach out like that? I imagine there's a lot of people like, "No, no way, I'm not doing that." Or some people probably, I would think, are like, "I never thought about that before." But
mhm.
whoa, that's interesting. Is there people that are just like, "Whoa, I've been kind of waiting for this call. I was thinking about that." Like, what's the ratio on that?
Yeah. So it's interesting because when I was pitching, I think it just varies, but I haven't got too many. Obviously, I got some no's, but just over the last several years, I haven't gotten too many of like no, like
Get out of here.
yeah. But it's also partly because you have to know how to pitch it and frame it so that it's a benefit for them instead
Yeah.
of obviously, if I called and said, "Hey, like, can I put your house on Airbnb?" They wouldn't, they'd probably hang up on me. But there's
Yeah.
a strategy behind how you pitch it and
All right. Well, I won't ask you to give away the golden goose here on the show.
yeah. Yeah, but when
Because
you do the benefits yeah.
yeah, because I mean, I know you. So Linda has the BNB Mastery Society, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I used to go to a lot more networking events. So I would get asked all the time, like, "Oh, wow, like, how do you do that? I don't know what that is." And because when I started, I didn't really know that I didn't know that a lot of people didn't know about it because it was new to me. So I think
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, everyone's like, a lot of people are surprised about this or interested. And so I had a business coach and he's like, "Oh, you should start coaching." So that's when I started my mentorship, and then from then, people were already waiting to sign up, so then that turned into a whole business, and I it's like a 6-week program. I mentioned my student, she just hit 6 figures in 4 months. She was a stay-at-home mom of 5 kids. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's super exciting, though.
That's gotta feel good for her. It's gotta
Yeah.
feel really good, really, really fulfilling. What is that? So, I mean, kind of results are you generally seeing from your students?
Yeah, so, I think so what I learned from talking to a lot of coaches, they say there's actually a very high percentage of people that don't finish coaching programs in
Yeah,
general. Yeah.
yeah,
So the ones that do, I think I can tell, like it's interesting. You can almost kinda tell someone's mindset when they start, and so yeah, but a lot of them are getting properties, and they're like, "Oh, someone told me not to do it here, but I did it," and then, they're getting bookings, and so yeah.
yeah. Sometimes you don't know until you try. Just because a lot of people are
Exactly.
saying that doesn't work doesn't mean it doesn't work. Maybe it didn't work for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they weren't doing it the right way. Like a lot of people say that meta ads and digital ads they don't work. They don't work. It's like no, they work. There's a reason why companies are spending millions of dollars a day on their ads. It's because they work. They're just not doing it the right way. And that's why it's so important to have somebody show them how to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it a big expense to get involved in that industry?
In Airbnb
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's actually not. It's actually very low capital to get into real estate because I think I always felt like, "Oh, it'd be really cool to do real estate," but I didn't know how to get into it without spending so much money, and so I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things that drew me into this is that it's very low capital and low risk because you're renting, so you don't own it, and if it doesn't do well, if you don't like the area, you can easily just get out of it and go somewhere else, and so
Right.
yeah, yeah,
You're not tied to it. You're not tied to a mortgage.
exactly.
You're not tied to any of it with your
Exact
model.
yeah. So you just pay the first month rent deposit and then furniture, and then you're just ready to go.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Who would you say um, is the right person to be involved in this program? And who's this not for at the same time?
Okay, it's so funny because right now I have like a group of students right now, and I was just telling them it's so diverse because anyone can do this, and so it's like got men, women. There's people like someone that's 20 just signed up, and there's someone that's 50s in their 50s. So any age, one's actually still in college. There's some that are entrepreneurs, some are in tech, some are lawyers, some are stay-at-home
Really?
moms. Yeah, it's they're just all over the board.
Yeah. Have you seen anybody who has their 9 to 5 and besides you, I know, and they're running this business on the side and they have been so successful. They're like, I'm done with that 9 to 5. I'm focusing strictly on this.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So another guy, yeah, same thing. It was in tech. I think in late 20s, was in
Uh,
tech 5, built his portfolio to about 7, and then just left. He could have left sooner, but he was just like, I'm just going to stay for a little longer. So a lot
yeah.
of people leave tech because of that. And someone that just joined my program just got laid off in tech. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to do this now because there's so many layoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can relate to them. And where are these layoffs coming from?
Yeah. Well, he was at T-Mobile, but yeah, they're
Oh,
coming
okay.
from everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it you think it's like a lot of like overseas hiring combined with like this new AI stuff, or is it where do you think the bulk of the layoffs are coming from?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know it's within the US, and I'm sure a lot of it
Yeah.
has to do with AI too and
Yeah.
downsizing because people can do their jobs and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big shift in the world for sure.
Yeah.
So, what do you think what's the mindset of the people you see succeed that separates from the people that don't?
I love that question because I'm so about mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have all that, before I started my Airbnb business because the first session that I had with my mentor was on mindset. And I didn't really even know what that meant. And so he's like, oh, read these books. And, we're starting with mindset. So in my head, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't really get how this relates to real estate, but okay. And so, so now I teach that too. But I think it's the people that don't give up and they keep going and they don't let fear get in the way. Because I had a student that the one that hit 6 figures in the beginning, she's like, I don't know if they said no. And then so I told her to read a book, 10X. And so she read it and kept going. So I think it's the people that are like, they don't get discouraged and they just keep trying until the
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I know there's a book that I like to read called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon
Yeah.
Hill.
Yeah.
And that's what, yeah, you know about that. It's just all these great, great
Mhm.
people throughout our history that has overcame all these challenges that
Mhm.
make regular business seem like nothing, right? And it's just there was their mindset. And they all have the same mindset. They believe and they don't give up. And it's so important.
Yeah, and it's funny because that was one of the books I had to read in the beginning of that mentorship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had us read that one, and yeah, I think to your point too, that's another thing is believing. So I was telling my students the other day, you have to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to get a property. Don't say, oh, what if I don't get one? You have to say, I'm going to get one, and that's what I did, and then I got one. So yeah.
So what are you like? What do you see going on in this space of Airbnbs over the next few years? Do you think it's going to be something that continues to grow? Do you think it's kind of like is where it's at, or what's your thoughts?
I see it growing. It's funny because I think there's a lot of information out there about Airbnbs. So they actually made $90 billion last year, Airbnb in bookings, which shows that there's still a huge market for it. And I think even this year they're projected to go higher. So it's really the people that are doing the systems correctly. And I don't see it really fading away too much because, with hotels are nice, but you can't really replace Airbnbs if you want a bigger house and, host like multiple groups or you want your own pool or you want laundry or, like all that stuff you can't get at hotel.
Yeah, there's definitely like there's times when a resort and hotel are nice, and there's
Yeah.
times where Airbnb is like it is the right thing. It's what you're looking for that more of that privacy, that more
Yeah.
kind of like personalization. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was a great conversation. You definitely got me thinking a lot about this for sure. I'm sure you got a lot of other people thinking about it too. So, I mean, what stands out most is kind of how you're taking like that high level tech background and you applied it in a way that most people they just don't. You're combining the systems, the design, and the execution to build something that's like not only scalable but actually performs at like a really high level. And I think it's really powerful also what you're doing. It's not just for yourself, you're teaching other people how to have these like other income streams through what you've created with BNB Mastery Society. I think that's like a really great thing to kind of move that forward and help people because it could be life changing. Could definitely be life changing for
Yeah.
someone. And they have something in them that they want to do more. And sometimes
Mhm.
they just don't know how to get started. For people that ever doubt coaching programs or mentorships and things like that, like, yeah, you have to be cautious. Some of them aren't the best thing out there, but when you have somebody that's done it themselves and they're as transparent as you are, that's what you really want to look for when you're looking for one of those programs, because that's what will separate you and make things move light speed and save so much time and headache. And you'll actually get somewhere. You'll actually get somewhere with that type of insight. So if people want to connect to you and learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, so my program is under the website bnbmasterysociety.com. And then I also offer just, free consultations for people that want to just learn more about it. And then also on Instagram, I'm under Linda Kim, Linda with 2 eyes, because the person with one eye hasn't used it for 15 years. So I can't get hold of her
I love that. I love that.
on LinkedIn under Linda Kim.
Great, Linda. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on. I really, really enjoyed talking with you. And everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.